Parking Garage.
She's
sang,
great.
She sang that song to me as I was getting my ticket and is now stuck in my head. So
She's fantastic. She's always upbeat. Have you guys had an interaction with the fabulous Miss Hill at the Market Street Parking Garage? She's absolutely amazing.
and saved my tuchus a couple of times.
She has a zest for life that is contagious. I see her quite often, and she's absolutely zesty for life.
And you know, and it's folks like that just make this place pretty awesome.
Oh, one of my favorite aspects of coming downtown is the regulars that are downtown that I see. You know, I see like the same regulars, like a couple hundred people every single week, and it's like you go from nodding your head to like saying hello to now stopping and talking and catching up. Strangers become acquaintances, and acquaintances become friends, and next thing you know, folks that you see in a downtown professional setting become folks that you interact with on a regular basis, and you look forward to interacting with them.
Why
And
do
there's
they-
a handful, like 3 or 4 dozen people that fit that mindset for me.
Well, every time I walk up to somebody, turn around and go the other way. I haven't quite figured out what that's all about. But yeah, it's really cool. I love coming down here. Love interacting with the people. She's had Miss Hill's had a tough couple of days here. Last week was not a good week for her, and she lives out in Fluvanna County. And those who keep track of the news out in Fluvanna County, we had a shooting out there, and it was one of her relatives. So I hugged on her a little extra special today, a little extra special last week, and I got a Happy Monday song in return today.
Good morning, Johnny Ornalis. Love Johnny Ornalis, the owner of the fabulous El Mariachi and Guadalajara Jefferson Park Avenue. Johnny Ornalis is fantastic people. Johnny, we can't wait to offer some perspective to the viewers and listeners. We'll wait on your green light, Johnny, before doing so. The fabulous news you have literally and proverbially cooking right now for you and your family. It's going to be fantastic. J.O. is A-plus people. Viewers and listeners, give the show a like and a share anywhere you are watching. We're going to have some fun on the Monday edition of Real Talk with Keith Smith, with Travis Hackworth watching in Danville, Dr.
Hey.
Karen Wolf watching, Jesse Rutherford, the builder and the board of supervisor, Kevin Higgins, Bob Yarborough, Lonnie Murray,
We were singing today,
Juan
apparently.
Sarmiento, Kevin Yancey, hello. Michael Pruitt, hello. Jamie Turner, hello. Georgia Gilmer, hello. Yvonne is watching
Hey, Yvonne.
on a Monday. I can't wait for you to ace your real estate exam, Yvonne.
Just got to pass it. Just got to pass
I
it.
mean, Keith's mindset with taking tests is just got to pass it.
You know,
Yvonne's mindset with taking tests is I want to get an A.
That's exactly right. But you know, the reality of it is, once you finish that test, you're done with that. Then we'll teach you how to actually do the job on that end of
The
it.
next generation of Smiths in real estate is an enterprising businesswoman on the west side of Richmond, and her daughter,
Ravenna.
Ravenna.
Got
Guys,
to hang out with Ravenna on Saturday, I think, or Sunday. I can't remember.
you love having them close, don't you?
I do. Actually, now that I think about it, I hung out with them on Saturday and Sunday. I did a bike ride out in Richmond and spent a little bit of time with them. And she came for dinner with baby Ray and for my mom and dad last night, which was great. By the way, mom and dad said to say hello.
Hello, Pop and Mrs. Smith. How
They
are
watch.
you? They're doing well?
They're doing well. Yeah. You know, they're doing well. Their mom is actually. This is a big thing in the Smith family. Mom is going to Ireland next week.
Whoa.
Was it
she's
next week or the week after?
on an airplane. You can't well, I guess you could take a boat, but I wouldn't advise that.
Sure, you can if you had enough time and money. That's one of my.
Taking a boat across the pond?
That's one of my retirement dreams, to take the QE2 across.
What's that run?
How much?
Yeah.
It's not as expensive as you think it is.
Really?
It's about $1,800 for 2 people.
Round trip?
No. You do
One
it
way.
You do it one way to England.
Okay.
Then you take the Eurail around Europe. You got to take a couple of months off.
Okay.
And you go through Eurail and then you fly back.
Johnny Ornalis shared the show with a happy Monday in his caption.
Happy Monday.
Judah Wickower, we're ready to rock and roll when you are, my friend. Good Monday morning, guys. I'm Jerry Miller, and this is Real Talk with Keith Smith. Thank you kindly for joining us. It's a pleasure to connect with you through the I Love Seville Network on a show today presented by the fabulous team at Yes Realty Partners.
Ooh.
A name you can trust, a name you can count upon. I say it loud, and I often say it proud. Yes Realty Partners. Today's program is dynamic. You, the viewer and listener, no matter where you are watching us today, can offer perspective, ask questions, and shape the discussion by offering your thoughts in the comment section or the feeds on any of the social platforms you're watching this show upon. We embrace, welcome, and encourage perspective from viewers and listeners. I would be remiss not to highlight and champion Judah B. Wickower, known up and down the Eastern Seaboard as J-Dubs, his favorite moniker over there.
I can see by his face.
Judas.
Why don't you get a microphone in front of you so you can talk to us?
Oh man, it's only been about 6 years of encouraging that. It's
Look
endearing.
Look at that big smile.
It's endearing. Keith Smith is freshly manicured. Got a haircut within the last 4 days.
You know what? The scary part is that you've noticed that.
I know you well.
Yeah.
I know you quite well. One of the things I know about Keith Smith as well is the man likes a compliment or two. Or three, or maybe four.
Yeah, that's interesting. From you, I like it. But yeah, it's sometimes it's a bit much. But yeah, part of the Catholic in me was like, all of a sudden I start feeling guilty.
He's been in business since 1987.
1987.
1987, so...
Yes, I am that old.
Quick math, that is 6 years over there, Keith Smith. You've been rocking and rolling in real estate.
I ran out of fingers.
He ran out of fingers?
Ran out of fingers and toes.
He's now using his toes and Judah's toes, and somehow Judah enjoys that.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's not a Monday.
This is what you get, folks.
It's not a Monday morning without a little joke or two.
Yeah.
Neil
Or a
Williamson,
song.
welcome to the show,
Hey,
my
Neil,
friend.
how you doing? Yeah, a little show. This is what you get when I roll in. I said we're just doing Batman and Robin today and see how the show goes. So, first of all, before we go off further down the slope, if you've got any case studies or anything you want to know about the market, this is a great time to ask it. Buyer, seller, whatever, please ask it. We're going to do a little case study on this Elliott Avenue that just went pending. I'd like to talk a little bit about that. And I've been tracking some new set of numbers for what it's worth, tracking the days on market. So I
think we should start there. We
There
got
you
a
go.
fantastic bar graph.
We
love data.
We do.
We got pretty colors on the bar graph. Ray Cadell, get ready for this. Joshua Tracy of Real Estate 3, get ready for this. Josh, I think you're going to like this information. Laura Fonder, hello. Peter Krebs, days on market over the last 20 years, get ready. Soon-to-be Supervisor Pruitt, get ready. Patty Zeller, Andrew Vaughn, Todd Raff, Nikki Chambliss, Catherine Lochner, get ready. Judah Wickower, if you could put the graph on screen. Keith Smith, if you can set the stage as Logan Wells Claylow gives us some props.
Oh, thank you, Logan.
Logan's a pro's pro.
So those of us who have been around for a while, chime in, right? Particularly Ray, right? And the folks that have been in here since 2020, before 2003. So what you're looking at here, folks, is it's a really large swath. It covers single-family detached. I drop out new construction. Those who watch the show know I do that. Particularly, it skews the days on market because new constructions have zeros, which skews the numbers. It's from 2023 back to 2003, or as Woody Funcham would like me to do, from 2003 to 2023.
I'm in agreement with Woody Fincham.
Okay.
Every bar graph and set of data starts with the oldest information first and then goes to the newest information.
And I'm lefty, so to me it looks right, and I'm dyslexic, so I look at everything
Maybe
back.
that's why that works out that way for
And
you.
maybe that's why that worked out that way. So this is Charlottesville, Albemarle, Havana, Greene, Nelson, Louisa. I'm throwing in Augusta, Waynesboro, Stanton.
You normally don't do that.
I normally do not do that in Buckingham. And I just wanted to take a quick look at the whole market and what are the median days on market. And if you take a look at it, I'm going to go from 2003 back. You're kind of seeing, 2023 back.
This is a great graph, guys.
5, 6, 7 days. And then, somewhere around 19 excuse me, 18, 19, and 20, you see it jumping up into the 20s. But if you go all the way back to 2003, we were, now the volumes were much less, of course, and the prices were down, but I just wanted to assess days on market, and we're looking at 33. And the question I'm trying to answer is, what's the new kind of balance point? When does it change from a
Sellers to buyers, buyers to sellers.
Thank you very much. But if you take a look in that middle graph here, in the years of time of great unpleasantness, you're looking at 50, 60, 70, 80. A couple of years we were plus 80 on that end of it. So I'm just trying to kind of track it now. I've been tracking it actually week over week.
Yep.
I've been tracking it. This is year over year, and trying to see, if this has got any tea leaves in it to kind of figure out where we're going to land as a new days on market. So any agents that are watching it, what do you think?
What do you think, Logan? Logan Wells Claylow, we trust your opinion. What do you think, Ray Cadell? Good morning, Aaron King, watching at Feast. Aaron, I'm a huge fan of yours, as you know. If you ever need to open a restaurant, Aaron King is a fantastic person to do it. Not that she's not fantastically employed right now at Feast. Just saying, she's just got many talents. She's a Renaissance woman. The last 3 years, the days on market have been 6, 5, and 7. I don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that average is 6. 6 days on market. You put a house on the market.
That's median now.
And on a median standpoint, it goes under contract in 6 days.
Yeah, so I've been
That's ridiculous.
And I've been actually looking at the gap between median and average, right? And so I haven't quite finished the math on that to see, median obviously kicks out the high and the low, right?
Sure.
So henceforth the name, it stays in the middle on it. So these are median days work, but these, I figured that all out on my own.
Good, nicely done, Keith.
Yeah, look at me, huh? And but if you start digging into the units a little bit, at the homes a little bit, these are the ones that we always talk about, right? They're in the right location, they're at the right price, the right features, the right condition, the timing is always right, and as I always add, who's on the other side matters in this market more than ever.
Absolutely.
At this particular point. So anyway, I just wanted to...
That basically means pick the right realtor. That's what he's saying.
Yes. But who's on the other side? Who's helping you on the buyer to sell, depending on which side you're representing? It does matter. It always mattered. But it really matters now because of the skill level that I think it takes to make a deal go from beginning to end. But I just wanted to start with that. I'm tracking that. And any agents out there that are watching, if you think I'm off track or point me in the right direction or need more information, I will be more than happy to amend it and see how it goes.
So we can make this comment. Undoubtedly, we are in a seller's market right now.
Oh, yeah.
No question about it. When do we tip into a balanced market, in your opinion?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Is that the 30-day marker? The last time we've touched 30 days or eclipsed 30 days was 2016. In 2017, the median days on market was 28. 2018, the median days on market was 27.
So let's call that even.
I mean, 28, 27 are still below 30.
No, I'm just saying those 2 years
yeah,
were kind of,
even.
But those were kind of flat. And
it's
then
30 days of balanced market.
if we're looking at median, I'm starting to think, it used to be, because what got me to start thinking about this was last week we had folks talking about 90 days and so forth and so on. We've never really had a median 90 days, right?
I mean, 90 days hasn't happened since... When's the last time 90 days has happened?
Well, going back to 2003, it hasn't.
We've never had a 90-day median days on market.
So these are we got to be careful. This is median. If you start taking a look at the averages, back in those years, they were way up.
But we're going median here.
They're 120s, 130s, and all that stuff. But if we do median, which is kind of where I wanted to stay, is the high and low. The last time we had that was in 2010, 2011, 2012 was in 60. We're looking at 2000 and hold on, let me look at my colors here because there's all wonderful color stuff. 2007 it was 82. So I'm thinking 30 is it's probably somewhere between 30 and 45.
Okay.
If somebody was to push me up against the wall in a live talk show to make a decision, I'd say between 30 and 5. When you start getting median starts getting between 30 and 45 days, I think that's when I don't know, I think you're going to start seeing this whole mentality start changing. But, I mean, just look at it. The middle of COVID, the whole COVID, we'll call 2020 like the COVID year, right?
Yeah, that's when it started.
Right? We were at 20,
Okay.
right? And what happened in 20? We were selling houses like crazy,
No doubt.
right?
First
So-
part of the year was a little slow.
a little slow, right? But in any event, I'm just trying to track it, trying to figure out what my Mr. Predicto can go ahead and do and see if we can get some sort of visual on where the overall market is going. So I thought I'd kick it off with that.
I like it. Keith, do you expect the median days on market to continue to be this slim, this narrow, this thin, this tiny, this small, this minuscule? I could continue if you want.
I thought you were going to say mistletoe next.
I love mistletoe.
I know you do.
Who doesn't love mistletoe?
Yeah. Maybe this is inappropriate.
I mean, mistletoe, as long as you're, obviously I'm only mistletoeing one person right now. But when I was a single man, mistletoe was a great icebreaker. Hey, you know what we're under? My name is Jerry. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, well, there's a whole mental picture I did not want to have. Thank you very much at 10:33 in the morning. Look, even if we double the number, which is 14, this is simple math for simple Marines, we're still, way under 20, which was, the COVID year, 21. I just think we're going to be staying low because there's just no inventory. We had a family dinner last night with Mom and Pop, as I mentioned, as before we went live with the cameras. And actually the topic of conversation was exactly this, right? Taxes going up, right? Where they're going to go. They're at a certain age where you start having these conversations, right? Family conversations, and we're pretty open family. We have very clear, we don't brush things like this under the table. We actually have conversations. But part of the conversation was, if one passes away and one remains, how's this going to work? And they're at a point where there's a potential that they can't afford it because they're on a fixed income. Costs are going up. What is gas now?
I'd say about $3.79, depending on where you shop. $3.60, $3.70, $3.80. What was it at Wawa when you filled up last, Judah?
It was $3.39.
Oh, dang, son.
I filled up in
That's
Richmond.
with the Wawa discount, though, right?
They don't do gas discount.
No, is your mic on?
Yeah.
Can we put you on so we don't have a voice of God? Can we put you on a 3-shot?
Let's see.
So in Richmond, I paid $3.75.
Yeah, where I'm doing is about $3.70, $3.79.
The question is what is Costco? That's what everyone.
Well, I think Judah's found the cheapest gas in town. Might be Wawa. Then he goes in and then he devours.
That's the Wawa on 250.
I think he goes to the Wawa on Pantops. Are they made to order subs or the MTO sheets, Judah?
They made to.
The MTOs are sheets. Wawa's does not do the MTOs. Anyway, Wawa, jump in.
Wawa makes everything the way you ask for it.
So is it made to order or the MTOs? Made to order is the acronym though is sheets. But you're right. Wawa does custom submarines subs. My personal favorite at Wawa is a toasted Italian with a bag of cheddar and sour cream to go and maybe a IPA tall boy to enjoy while devouring my Italian sub. What is your personal favorite there, Judah Wickower? Then we'll get to the comments on the feed. We're having some fun on a Monday here.
They've got some.
Nobody's
really
going to ask me about mine, but that's okay.
They've
Why-
got some
why
really
wouldn't
good
we ask
soup.
you?
That's right. It's only real talk.
I mean, it's a
talk
talk
I'll just
show.
drink my cup of coffee. I got texts coming in. I could do a little bit.
Judah
little bit
Wickower, what do you got over there?
They've got some really good soups, and other than that, I mean, they do everything that I've tried well. So I'll either go with ham and cheese or sometimes a tuna fish sandwich. It's good stuff.
I like it. Yours, Keith? What is your favorite, Keith?
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome,
Thank you.
Keith.
I go to Marie Bet, pick up some baguette, go get myself boar's head cold cuts, and I make my own hero.
There you go. There you go. Now,
Make
if you
my
were
own
at
little Italian.
if you were at Wawa, what would it be?
I don't know. Never eaten at Wawa.
Oh, and it's pretty good.
I get gas and go.
Of the gas stations, it may have the best food of all the gas stations.
Usually, if I'm stopping,
I take that back. I strike that.
Yeah.
Everything I just said,
Tiger
please
Fuel.
yeah.
Please
I
completely
think
ignore.
you need to go local on that.
Tiger
one.
Fuel, the
There you
Suttons, Bel Air.
You can't beat an Ednam.
I'll go with the Keswick. The Ednam is what my wife gets. The Keswick and the Ednam by far trump and beat Wawa. Now, if I were going to go with a big box brand, I would go with the Wawa. Wawa
now
sheets.
I will go to the markets, to the Tiger Fuels.
Those are damn good.
Just to get a sandwich.
The sandwiches
right?
are fantastic.
I won't get any gas. I'll get a sandwich and go. And Edmund is mine, by the way. So your wife has
My
excellent,
wife loves the
excellent
Ednam.
taste.
I may have to.
If I go to
bring some of those
Wawa,
in.
it's like, okay, let's get the gas and go. I'm usually rocking and rolling and not hanging around and doing that. But if I get that Rivian electric pickup truck, I'm gonna have to hang out there. So my whole philosophy might change.
Are you getting the Rivian pickup truck?
No, of course not.
Is
But-
that your Quentin Beckham has one of those?
I know that. If I said if. There's a long way to convince Mrs. Smith for me to
Well,
spend.
the Toyota Tacoma is pretty new for you.
It's not. It's 2017. I got about 80,000 miles on it. It is in primo condition, and I'm not getting rid of that anytime soon.
Tacomas run forever.
It is in great condition. I love it. But comments and things, we're talking about
April
sandwich-
Sherling's got a comment.
Yeah.
How can anyone buy a house in this market if they have to sell a home first? It's a great question. There are ways, and that's why you need a trusted advisor, April, but it's a great comment she just made.
So I'm actually going this afternoon to meet a client that has a piece of that has a home close to UVA that we're going to be putting on the market. And
More comments.
They're going to go ahead and buy. We're going to get a little creative with it. We haven't. I don't want to get too far down the road because we don't have all the details. I don't want to get ahead of myself on it. But one of the things we're looking at doing because
You?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I kid because I care.
No. It came out of my mouth, and I went, "Yeah, really?" So one of the things that we're doing in that is we're going to be looking at the lease back options because what they want to do is they want to get the home on the market, figure out what they can get on it, start searching, and try to time the sale and the purchase. But it is possible to do right now. So the sell side is probably the easier side of the scenario, but where they're located, my suspicion is that the buyer who's going to buy there, much like this Elliott Avenue property we'll talk about in a little while, will
So,
be
Jude, I just sent you the listing for 724 Elliott Avenue. Go ahead, Keith.
yeah, so they will go ahead and probably wait. The chances of a buyer waiting for the seller to buy something is
Slim
increasing.
to zero.
But this is the where, right? The location. This is the number one. That's what matters. And is it priced right? And I got to tell you, pricing matters more now than ever. Everybody thinks, oh, I'm just going to go in super high on it. And, that's a possibility. That's a discussion to have with it. But what happens, sometimes people just get turned off on it and don't look at it if it's overpriced. The buyers are smart. They know what values are right now better than most folks. And sometimes if you overprice it, you can end up sitting on it. Then you start getting into 14 days or whatever it is.
And then they get stigmatized.
The listing becomes stale.
Yeah.
And then
What's wrong with it? What's going on here? Why is it taking so long?
Why is it taking so long? What happened? Yada yada yada.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yada yada yada.
Yada, yada.
Was that commercial?
No, it's Seinfeld.
It's not. No. They just did a commercial. Of yada yada. Anyway, we'll change gears on it. Smith ADD kicked in.
Olivia Branch, hello. Welcome to the program. We love when you watch the show, Olivia. Chad Wood, Jason Howard, hello. Welcome to the show.
But there's paths there to do that. And you need to bring in a trusted advisor to take a look at, this isn't so much about selling a home. It's about, okay, what is your goals and objectives? And that's actually the conversation we're going to have today. It's not so much about the home. Okay, what's your goals and objectives? Why do you want to move? Where do you want to go? This particular case, it's life-changing. There's life changes happening, so they kind of need to move. So we've got to dig into that first, then figure out the value end of it, then figure out where we're going to go.
I had a conversation with a gentleman outside the squash courts on Friday, and he put this spreadsheet together. This is a guy who has two daughters that play, including one, his youngest, who's got a lot of upside. He's very active. All right, give me a thumbs up when you have those photos ready to go. We're going to talk 724 Elliott Avenue here in a matter of moments. A home that I put up on the I Live Seville network, I'd say 4 or 5 days ago. Seth Batten's listing, owner agent actually, and it went viral, in particular because of the price. And this gentleman I'm having a conversation with asked me, what do you do? I said, do a handful of things. One of the things I enjoy the most is the real estate investment, the rental properties we have. Grant Tate, glad to see you're alive. I guess he's talking to you, Keith.
Oh, it's Grant.
Yeah.
Oh, man. As I call him, Doc. Dr. Grant Tate. He's an
Grant
awesome
Tate.
individual.
Welcome to the show, Dr. Grant Tate. So the conversation went, it's always a good time to buy, especially in this market. It's always a good time to buy. Then he sends me an email the next day, a very detailed email of why he thinks the buying a rental property right now does not make sense.
Really?
Yes. He says that price points are at a high right now.
I would agree with that.
That are not sustainable. He says, and I'm looking at his email now, my conclusion is buying rental property only makes sense if housing prices will go up. The rental can only cover the costs right now. Right now, it's better to park the cash in CD or treasury bonds, which are close to 6%. He says the return for a rental income is 5.268%. The CD is almost 6%, and it's completely worry-free. He says, my decision is based on real estate prices will not go up much from here or over the next few years.
I would disagree with that.
And he says, I'm hoping real estate prices will drop 20% from this level, then I will be buying. Yeah. I saw him the next day after he sent this email. I said, I respect your perspective. I understand that you have a lot of degrees and you're a very smart individual, but this market is insulated.
Yeah.
I do not see values dropping 20% anytime soon. And from my experience buying a rental property, it's always been good. It's always been good.
So he's half right. I see look, as these multifamily projects start coming online over years, this is years and years down the line, you're going to start seeing rental prices get soft. I just everything from Zillow to Dr. Yoon, what we're seeing on it, we will have, for the foreseeable future, I think, a pretty modest year-over-year percentage increase. Now, what I mean by modest,
Are you talking about monthly rents?
No. I'm jumped on you a little bit. I think rents are going to start stabilizing a little bit. I don't think you're going to see them accelerating like they have been. I'm talking about appreciation of properties being bought that are rentals. The values are going to continue to go up. It might be 3%, 4%, 6%. I think we're actually going to.
You know what I said that blew his mind?
Excuse me?
You know what I said that blew his mind?
I'm sorry, sir.
Do you know what I said that blew his mind
No.
after he gave me this analysis? I said, you know what? And he's a fair amount older than me. I said, explain to me what's going to happen to the market when we get 2,000 or 3,000 people from the data science school, 2,000 to 3,000 people from biotech, and then UVA expands enrollment with professors and students, and then the ecosystem expands across those 3 silos. And he goes like this, wait, you think population increase? And I said, yes. And I said, what do you think the salaries are going to be tagged with those population increases? And he goes, 6 figures. And then you know what he did? He walked away and sent me another email the next day and said, well, with the population increase, my initial projection's not correct.
Well, so he's half right and he's half wrong, right? He's half right, I think. In order, and as you're talking, I'm trying to take a look at what's available right now, single-family detached in the city of Charlottesville to buy, right? So unless you have a situation where you've got a 1031 exchange and you're looking to park some cash somewhere, that's probably the buyer who's going to be buying these rental properties where they're just looking to park cash. If they go ahead and get a certain amount of rent for it that covers their taxes, their insurances, and all their expenses and make a little bit of profit on the back end, get their tax write-off, that makes a lot of sense. If you've got to go out and borrow money to go and do that, That math is never going to work.
I don't think the folks that are going to have to borrow money at 7-8%.
But that's
in
what
fact,
was-
it's probably higher because
that's what
it's
was
rental
happening-
property. You're talking 9 or 10% rates. But
You
the
and-
single-family detached rent right now, we learned this from you.
It's about
City in
$2,500,
Albemarle
$2,600.
County is $2,500.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I think you're going to start seeing quote unquote mom and pop investors that had rentals that bought 4 or 5 years ago when they were getting a 2%, 3%. I think you're going to start seeing them come back on the market, but they're going to be incremental. They're going to be such a small.
I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think it
Why
will.
would anyone put on the market a 2 to 3% interest rate house?
So it's a sophistication of the buyer, right? So if mom and pops are buying them, that they don't. Let me try to explain it a different way.
You're basically saying this: if you got a house with a 2 to 3% rate, and you can sell this rental property at a premium, and then take all the cash and equity that you got and put it into a CD in the market, your return on investment's greater with a lot less headache, no work
So
whatsoever.
the few mom and pop ones that I know,
Yeah.
they never did an ROI. They never kept money aside. They didn't kind of do the business end of it. They try to manage it themselves instead of using Ally Property Management. And what's happening, it's becoming more of a headache. And
So
then
maybe we're running in different circles. The ones that are in my circle are like,
we got different circles.
Yeah,
This is a different circle that folks all of a sudden thought they should be in investment properties. And if you really don't understand that world, it could bite you in the butt. HVAC goes out, right? It needs a new roof. The tenant does something silly. It does happen, and they just get out of it. It's not, Jerry, we're not talking huge numbers. These are like microscopic numbers to go ahead and do that. But I think if you're going to go straight in right now, unless you're a cash buyer that's looking to put some 1031 money aside, that's going to be probably your single-family detached investor in this market, right? I don't think you're going to see a lot of people wake up in the morning and go, let's go buy some investment property.
I'm going to agree to disagree with you on this one, and I'm going to use Seth Batten. Seth Batten, you watching the program right now? Why don't I
Yes.
text Seth Batten?
But that's the exception to that is a very different scenario.
Okay, I'm
Seth-
tagging Seth Batten. Seth
So-
Batten, I'm going to give him some props because I think what Seth is doing now,
But Seth is not mom and pop.
he's a shrewd businessman.
It's not mom and pop.
Why is he not a mom and pop? Because he's a realtor?
Well, because he
He has one unit.
yes.
This is the quintessential mom and pop. He has no economies of scale, no vertical integration. This is probably his personal residence.
And he knows, no, because I took a look at when he bought it and stuff. He knows, and I actually been keeping the track on the reconstruction of it. He bought that. He created an LLC. He bought it under an LLC. He understands the real estate market. I know Seth well. He understands
Same.
construction well. He understands who's to hire and who not to hire to go ahead and do that. We've had this conversation before, right? If you think the renovation is going to cost you $1, what is it going to cost you? $2 or $3.
Let me set the stage here. So I put this on the I Love Seville network, and I've heard from a number of your colleagues after posting this. I'd say a dozen realtors reach out to me, maybe somewhere between a dozen and 2 dozen reached out to me after I posted 724 Elliott Avenue. I think Judah Wickower has the photos. This is Seth Batten, owner, agent. You can rotate the photos through. He's got a list price for 724 Elliott Avenue. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,428 square feet. One of my favorite tricks is when the realtors, when they talk about lot size, they choose to put the square feet of the lot, 6,098 square feet, instead of the actual acreage. When you see a realtor putting the lot size in square feet as opposed to actual acreage, you know what that means? That means the lot is really small.
46 feet wide. That's a narrow lot.
Is that less than 0.1? Is that 0.1?
I don't know what the acreage is. I'm not smart enough to do the math.
I would imagine that's somewhere between 0.08 and 0.13. Okay? We're talking a post stamp right here. Now, it's fantastic renovation, Seth Batten. He did a hell of a job. In fact, let me see if Seth's watching.
Did you walk through it?
Yeah. No, I have not walked through it.
Yeah.
I've driven through it many times.
No, they did. First of all, they did an outstanding job. So he bought that in 2022.
Seth, watching the program.
He bought that in 2022 for $165.
165K. He listed it for $674,900. Judah, 2-bedroom. Are you rotating the photos? Photos are on screen. Look at the screen. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,428 square feet, post stamp of a lot. The price per square foot, $473 price per square foot. Now, the renovation is fantastic. He did a phenomenal job with the renovation, and Elliott Avenue is within walking distance of everything.
He's also expanded the square footage, too, of it.
I mean,
because the original square footage on the house was around 1,000 square feet. There was a little extension built years ago, but they actually improved that. And the renovation work in that thing is freaking off the charts.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic renovation.
The stove, look at the pictures. The stove is a $15,000 to $20,000 stove.
I get that. Yeah. I get that. You are paying for the finishes here, and you're paying for the location.
Absolutely.
That's what you're buying here, is finishes and location.
So
you're not buying space. You're not buying Thanksgiving dinners or big Christmases with families here. You're buying finishes and location.
Yeah, so it looks like this will probably close somewhere, according to the data, public data I'm looking at, somewhere at the end of September.
And it went under contract right away.
Yeah, sure, of course. And I'm sure it had multiple offers and da-da-da-da-da. But I'll tell you, I think when this is over on 9/25 or the end of the month, when we take a look at it, I'll bet you'll find out it was a cash deal. I bet you a cash buyer bought it. And I will bet you about, we're low on bourbon, aren't we?
We're low on bourbon.
Okay, so I'll bet you a bottle of bourbon.
Oh, I like prop bets. What's the prop bet you want to do?
Well, we're just low on bourbon.
Okay.
So
what's the prop bet?
So I think the buyer, which is going to be really hard to find out unless Seth shares it, I think the buyer profile is me, probably of a certain age, and probably of a certain ethnicity and race.
What does that mean? You're saying the family, whoever buys this is white?
I think it looks a lot like me.
Okay. You're saying this is going to be a white boomer, a white wealthy boomer is what you're saying.
I'll tell you what, if I had $674,000, that's the perfect house for Yona and I. Absolutely perfect house.
Dude, you could not live here.
Sure I could.
Your family from Connecticut, where are they going to stay? In a tent in the backyard?
Your house.
They have, your family in Connecticut is a husband, a wife, and 2 children.
Yeah. Well,
where are they going to stay, in the second bedroom altogether?
No, I'd go ahead and once the rezoning happens,
oh, come on now. You're not going to build a $200,000 ADU after you spend $675.
No. And that's what I wanted to get to, the rezoning and how this and that is kind of tying together on it. But look, for me, it's the not everybody has a large family like we have. Not everybody's the oldest of 5, right? But it's walking distance to everything that I want. Everything's on the main level because I'm old, right? It's got a cute little office in the back that I can put my office in the back in it, and if I was really creative, I could probably turn it into an ADU pretty easily on it. It's got all the high-end features I want. A beautiful walk-in tiled shower in the primary master suite. So I think it's cash. I think it's somebody close to my age, if not older.
So what's the bet here? What's the prop bet?
My bet is that's who it is, the buyer on it, and you can take somebody else.
Well, that's going to be hard for us to know those answers.
Well, we'll know if it's cash or not.
How would we know? You'd ask Seth?
No. That once it closes, the MLS picks that up.
Okay.
We just can't tell who the buyer is, right? The ethnicity of the buyer or the age of the buyer and all.
So you're saying this is a $675,000?
We'll bet cash.
God, I'm so inclined to take this bet, but the reason I'm not going to take this bet is because of the expensive interest rate environment, and I know how much money is in this community. I am right on the fence of taking this bet. I don't think I've lost a prop bet to anyone in this 5 years of doing this show.
So let's add a second part to it. Let's figure out if...
I'm not going to take this bet.
Okay.
And the reason I'm not going to take this bet is because the interest rate environment is extremely expensive right now, and I would not be surprised if this traded cash. But $675 cash...
It's not I can tell you this one. It's not a buyer who's buying it waiting for the zoning to happen. That I can assure you.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I would never... I completely agree with you on that.
And And
Jamie
that's-
Turner and James Watson. I'm going to get to your comments here.
Yeah, and well, James' home lived up the street, like three houses up.
He still owns it, right? Investment
No,
property?
no.
Oh, he sold it? Oh, okay.
We helped him sell it. Yeah.
Okay.
The reality of it is that's now a piece of property that is not going. So that's RC. So if this thing gets adopted, and I've been digging into this, and I'm sure Doc Tate has because he's a genius on this stuff. I've been digging into the.
I don't think it has an ADU already, Bill. I think that's just a garage and storage shed in the back.
It is, but it's drywalled. It can easily
It's a
be.
storage shed.
It's a storage shed. It's
Yeah.
small. It could be easily. I've looked at it. It could be easily added to. It's not that complicated. It's got an alleyway in the back. Nice, easy access. But I'll tell you what I can.
A lot of people posted on the I Love Seaville network that it had an ADU back there. That is not an ADU.
It is not an ADU.
Yeah.
It is a drywalled shed,
Right.
right? But you put a little mini split in there.
But where are you going to put your lawn equipment? You got 1,400 square feet. You're going to put it in one of the bedrooms?
I know some really good lawn guys who'll come in there and cut that grass.
Where
for-
are you going to put any of your stuff?
Yeah. Well, for me, it would be a problem.
Where are you going to put your bicycles?
It would be a problem.
That's my point. Whoever buys this needs that shed for stuff.
Yeah, or you build another shed. You go to Lowe's and get one, boom, drop it in there.
Those sheds ain't cheap.
They ain't cheap. But that's the location and the features.
I think it's a dink, James Watson. I think it's Jamie Turner taught me that acronym, DINK, dual income, no kids.
So that's my.
You think it's boomers?
I think it's a boomer.
I think it's a dink, dual
So that's
income,
the
no
bet.
kids.
So that's the bet. But the problem is how do we figure that
We're
out?
just going to have to do what we do and just show up to the house and knock on the door, which both you and I have zero shame.
No.
We have zero shame. We would totally do that, would we not?
The reason I'm laughing is that's literally what I was thinking.
Yeah, I would do that.
I would buy 2 bottles
Yeah,
of bourbon.
here's one for you. Can we just get to know you for 5 minutes? We have a bet. You and I would do that.
Yeah.
I have no problem knocking on a
Not only
stranger's
would
door.
I do it, I was trying to figure out how to do it. So
We would do that.
or we would be the guys pacing back and forth in front of the thing.
James Watson says baby boomers or late 30s data science childless couple from out of town. I think it's the dinks.
So that's the bet.
Kevin Yancey, hello in Waynesboro.
So that's the bet. We've just got to figure out how we can figure that out without getting arrested or
Seth
or
Batten, can you? I know this is pending because it's pending.
Yeah,
it's
no,
pending.
no.
Seth, we're talking about your listing. He's active now. He's watching us.
No,
Seth,
no.
First I want to give Seth some props.
Yeah. Great job, man.
You did an effing great job on this, Seth.
Seth, that renovation is off the charts.
You kick some ass on this. Your return on investment is super
And
impressive
I've
here.
built a fair number of houses in my career.
Now, if you're the neighbors of this house, you might feel a little sting
Why?
when your next assessments come out.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to set a new market for Elliott Avenue, a new threshold, a new price
Yeah.
point, a new
Well,
tax
first of
assessment,
all,
a new
Seth-
comp.
Yeah, correct. And he was a genius. He bought it at a really good price.
Oh. How much did Seth? How much
Well, I
did you
can
put
tell
into
you,
this, Seth?
it's a public record.
How much remodel? No, I know what he bought it for. I know what he bought it
You don't
for.
have to yell at me.
It's sorry.
You don't have to yell at me.
I'm sorry. I'm not
Dude,
yelling.
you're yelling at me.
I'm just a passionate guy. Seth bought it for $165,000 in June 30 of 2022, $159 a square. Now it's under contract at $674,900.
Yeah.
He spent a year
We don't
renovating this house.
So we don't want to jinx it too much because we want to let him close it, right?
Seth, tell us who's got under contract.
Yeah, don't do that. And then after it closes, if Seth wants to share that with us or the client, his client.
Is it a
wishes-
dink, dual income, no kids, Seth, or is it baby boomers?
He could probably do that without getting into trouble.
Seth, you could do that without getting into trouble. Here, I'm going to DM here.
I would ask
Hey,
you, Seth,
I just sent him a DM.
Seth, before this guy gets into trouble, check with your broker before you say
Dink?
anything.
Dual
But
income, no kids. Keep talking here. I'm interacting with him.
you're interacting. Yeah, so I got a ballpark on what that cost to renovate, but I just don't want to. We got to be tread a little careful here.
I'd say it's $250 a square to renovate.
You're talking about total dollars?
$250 a square foot to renovate.
Oh, I think it's way more than that.
You think you $300 a square?
Yeah, probably north of that. Just the kitchen and the tile work alone in that house. You need to get in there and look at it. It is freaking awesome.
All right, let's call it 300 square, right? We'll call it 300 a square foot, $300 a square foot to renovate, okay? You're looking at how many square feet? 1428 times 300, $428,400. You think Seth dropped $428,400 on the reno?
You know, it depends on how he did it. If he did a lot of sweat equity, that number may be less.
$428,400. I don't know if Seth's doing the renovations himself. He seems like a manager of renovations. Plus $165,000, $593,400.
Then you got to add all your closing costs on top.
Yeah,
of that.
I don't think it's three. I don't think he put 300 a square. The ROI would not justify what he's got there at 300 a square. I think you're closer at 250, and he's pulling some strings with some people that he knows.
There you go.
At 250, 1424
So now you're making my
times 250
You're
is
making my argument
356.
for me about being sophisticated in this. He knows people and knows how to get the numbers down and get the renovation. But it's just really, I mean, the trim work. I'm a former wood butcher, right? Built 600 houses. The trim work in that house is all outstanding. The tile work is outstanding. It's got heated floors in the tile.
Oh, it's dope, dude.
It is.
We got to bet, Seth. Come on. Tell us if the
No,
buyers
no,
under
Seth,
contract
don't do
are
that.
baby boomers or dinks, dual income, no kids.
Don't do that.
I'm saying dinks.
After it closes, we'll accept that question. We don't want to put them in that spot.
Okay, all right. We're not going to put them in the spot. This is a great question from Jamie Turner. This is a great question. And I'm calling up, there's so many comments right now on this. I'm sure, Seth, you saw that I posted this on the I Love Seville Network and it went viral.
So while you're doing that, so that you know, if the zoning rewrite gets adopted in its present form, which I think you'll see of some variation of that,
100%.
that property is an RC. So what can I do with an RC? So the lot minimum width is 40. You can do 8 dwellings per property. I don't know how in God's holy name you fit 8 on that lot. It's impossible. You can go a maximum of 3 stories, and the maximum building width is 70. So the lot's only 45. So it meets the minimum width, right? And you actually can put some limited small-scale commercial in some locations. I've got to look into that location specifically if they can go ahead and do this.
Woody Fitcham, the appraiser, is watching.
But here's my point I'm trying to make is whoever's bought that, unless prices
People ain't dropping $675 to put some ADUs in the backyard and to create density in the backyard.
So guess what? That lot just came off the.
Yeah, it came off the rolls. It's no longer an upzone property. It's now an expensive piece of real estate that's going to start influencing comparables and drive gentrification
And
on
if
Elliott.
you know anything about this business, when you start looking at that street, what you need to do is what's called assemblage. And the hardest thing for any developer ever to do.
I'll put it in simple terms. Assemblage is buying a bunch of properties next to each other. Aggregating property.
Legos, stick them together.
Yeah. Essentially playing Monopoly.
Legos.
That's what I've done here.
That's exactly right. So you literally done that, just done vertically instead of horizontally. Yeah. Absolutely great example. But yeah, so so you would have to start putting these assemblages together because you need to start getting
depth and robust lots.
Depth and width in order to get that. But the maximum building width for one building, that is 70 feet. That's allowed. So you only can go so wide. So you would need like 3 lots, 45 lots to kind of make that work because you got to dig into the setbacks that are a requirement. And the other thing that's interesting, as I'm digging into this, and Neil is digging into it, I'm on my beginning my third reread on this. It's really interesting. Everything now, if you were to buy that and turn that little shed into an ADU, once this gets adopted.
I could see that happening.
You know what you need to do now?
What's that?
You have to do a separate water and sewer connection.
Yeah, what's that going to cost you, 10K?
Oh my God, no.
15K?
The connection fee alone is that amount of money.
And then you have to do the work.
Then you got to do the work, and depending on where the sewer is located, and I think on this one it's actually in the alleyway, which is not that bad. I can't remember if it runs completely down the alleyway, but the water may be on the opposite side of the street. So now you got to come all the way up, open up a street, tap into the thing, and if you think dealing with the county, dealing with
pain in the ass.
the city from a zoning thing, try dealing with their utility department.
Yeah.
So now you got to open that up. So just the water and sewer alone on that, on top of the connection fee, is tens and tens of thousands of dollars. So that's not going to happen.
No.
Now, if I could connect it to the main house, right, of some way, water and sewer, it becomes a different story, right? But you actually, it's written in here under the utilities chapter that you have to do a separate connection per residential unit, unless it's multifamily, and that's a whole different animal.
We got comments coming in fast and furious. This is a great one from Jamie Turner. Does something like this appraise for the PP? There's no way there are any comps out there to justify this.
That's why I think it's cash.
Does something like this appraise?
Well, I don't want to speak for Woody, but that would be a good.
Woody Finchem's got a good comment.
That would be a good analysis if Woody ever wanted to do that for a future show and say, okay, what does that appraise at? I mean, that's what he does for a living, and he can surely do that.
I may have lost this bet based on that. I may have lost this bet. I'm saying dinks, dual income, no kids.
But
make the comment.
No. You might still win that, right?
If it's a dink that sold their townhome in Northern Virginia and moved down here, and then wants to be next to the activity because they were used to the activity in
do you remember
old Alexandria.
Remember what Scott Morris was talking about from Ross Mortgage, one of our wonderful sponsors. How do you like that, huh? I did pretty good.
That was very nicely done.
There are things called appraisal waivers, right? So a lot of it has to do with money, how much money you put down, plus your credit score, plus your job. There's a whole bunch of different pieces to it. But there is a possibility that if there's enough cash on the table and there's enough debt to income or less debt to income, right, on it, there could be an appraisal waiver on that, and you could be right. This could be this $200,000, $150,000 dual income couple. My gut's telling me this is a Keith and Yona. I sold my house at the lake. I got enough cash that I could come in and buy this.
Sold your house at the lake?
No. I'm not saying.
Not you.
No.
But I'm just saying, if someone sold their house are we getting a lot of $700,000 deals at the lake?
At Lakemont, at the Acres, there's a $700,000 closing. I'm making an example.
Woody Fincham says this. This is a great comment from Woody Fincham. One sale is an anomaly. 2 comps is a coincidence.
Yeah.
3 comps is a market. It's an old adage in the appraisal business.
He's 100% right.
Woody Fincham, give us some insight on this Elliott Avenue that is now pending. This is what I think is going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I think is going to happen. Elliott Avenue is an interesting street. How would you characterize Elliott?
Well, it's a.
There's 2 sides of Elliott.
Well,
there's the one side and the other side. Go ahead.
So what Elliott is now is an entrance corridor. It's become an entrance corridor. Because guess how Keith and Yona go from Lake Monticello to where I'm sitting?
You take Elliott?
I take Elliott.
Okay.
I do 53 to 20, make a left on Elliott, wave to my sisters in James' old house, go through the intersection, make a right, get a cup of coffee, and come and see you. By the way, that's a 20-minute adventure. That from door to here, depending on the line at the coffee place, is about 20, 25 minutes.
From your house?
From my house, yeah.
Okay.
Over the years, over 400, almost, 550 shows, I've timed this down to the moment.
I think Elliott
Is
Avenue.
Dr. Kate still watching?
Kate whom?
Tate.
Oh, Tate, yes, Grant.
Good. At some point, Doc, I want to ask you about Fluvanna County, but keep on going, sir.
Still watching. I think what's going to happen here, once this listing closes, it's going to encourage or influence others in the near vicinity to list their homes as well because they see they have an opportunity to get top dollar. I think this is also going to be the first step in even more gentrification in this little corridor. Yeah. Someone that's paying cash $675 is going to have some ducats to drop outside of the home they just purchased. And it's called the amenity effect. I learned this from Deep Throat. The amenity effect is this. When wealthy people with this kind of ducats come into the area, they expect wealthy amenities to follow. And when wealthy amenities follow, that further creates gentrification. Those wealthy amenities aren't necessarily tied to home purchases. They're tied to sexy coffee shops, sexy wine bars, sexy spas.
You're making my point for me. I go ahead and I'm using but I meaning the 65-year-old millennial boomer.
Okay.
Right? I do this. I get myself a couple of rad electric bikes. Right? Hop on my rad electric bike. I'm down at Woolen Mills. I'm on the downtown mall. I can go wherever I want to go.
Neil Williamson makes a really good point. Do Keith and Yona, empty nesters, also qualify as dinks, dual income, no kids? Those are tough bet parameters and definitions.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I had that as an escape valve on my prop bet, but I wasn't going to bring that to Keith's attention right now. Thank you, Neil.
Neil, thank you for covering me, buddy.
Yeah, I was going to use that as an escape valve to win the prop bet.
Yeah, so it's interesting because it could be. You're 100% right.
I would say you guys are dual income, no kids.
Yeah. Well,
you got no kids in the house.
Yeah. So our terminology is empty nesters.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think an empty nester and a dink is the same thing. I think dink implies somebody who's younger, right?
Why don't we do this? To Neil's point, we're going to set the over/under at 55.
Well, the thing is, we need somebody to share with us that information.
I'll just go knock on their door.
What are you gonna
I swear to God, I was like, "How old are you?" I'm Jerry from the I Love Seville show. How old are you? I swear to God, I would do that.
I'm only laughing because I know you'll do it.
I swear to God, I would do that. Why don't we put the over/under at 55 years old? You're taking the over on 55. I'm taking the under on 55.
So 55 is okay. I probably would have done 50.
Okay. Well, 50 is not technically a boomer.
55.
All right. I've got 55 is a push. I'll take anything under 55. You got anything over 55 for a bottle of booze.
Sure.
Viewers and listeners, you heard the parameters of the bet. All right, Judah.
And
you're the
we
witness.
need to, and that all is like October 1 kind of thing. Sometime in the first week of October.
I'm hoping Seth will just let us know. Heather Walker watching the program, one of Johnson Village's finest.
He's a pro. He'll wait for it to close first.
Yeah, Seth is a pro. He's damn good at his job.
Yeah.
James Watson, your brother-in-law, says nurses and doctors can get to work easily from Elliott. They can scooter, bus, or bike to work and don't need parking at work. I thought about that.
Yeah, so this is, somebody isn't buying this, I can assure you that, for nursing, putting 2 nurses in there or, one of these contract nurses. I'm pretty sure it's somebody 55 and north with cash, or a substantial amount of cash anyway, down on it, and it just has either have a small loan on it or bought it in cash. It's because of, as you outlined, they want to wander to these different places. I take Forrest the dog. Belmont Park is right behind it.
Oh yeah.
Zip around the corner, take a walk. The grandkids come and visit. They can go play at the park.
Woody Fincham says, email me the details. We can do a case study on the property. Woody, I'm going to respond to your comment. This show airs on 15 Facebook pages. He's commenting on one of them. Here's the listing. I just sent it to you, Woody Fincham, via Facebook comments. Give it a look. Give it a look.
But I kind of wanted to tie this together with the zoning rewrite, and then this thing that this is going to be so incremental in changing the environment of Charlottesville. Because right now on Elliott Avenue, which we all agree is a entrance corridor, right? If anything, this is the reason they did that RC, right? That's the highest residential zoning allowed. Most of the city is RA. And I'm actually trying to figure out a way to do a percentage of how many is RA. And RA only has 3 maximum dwelling units on it. The rest of it is pretty much the same. You've got the 40-foot width wide, 2.5 stories high, at 40-foot maximum building width versus 8. So it goes 3, 6, 8. RB is 6, RC is 8 maximum allowable.
You know what? I'll make this other comment. Homes that sell in the neighborhood of $675,000 in the city of Charlottesville that are 1,400 square feet on a post stamp of a lot will further drive momentum and tailwinds to HOA neighborhoods in the urban ring in Albemarle County.
Yep. Single family detached year to date, the city of Charlottesville, Did you say 500?
500?
Did you say 500,000 and up?
No, I did not say that.
Okay, what did you say? I'm sorry.
I said this sale is further going to drive momentum and interest into Albemarle County and
No,
urban ring
before
HOA
that, you were
neighborhoods.
talking about 650,000 and up.
This 675K is probably what this went under contract with.
So let's do 650.
Right around there.
650, 1,400 square feet. City of Charlottesville, single family detached, no new construction. Year to date, there were 71 homes sold that were 650 and up.
So my point is, if you're going to pay that kind of money,
You're not doing RC.
yeah, you're not doing RC. Also, my point is, why wouldn't you just drive 5 or 10 minutes more and get half an acre to an acre, spend maybe the same money or 100,000, 150,000 more,
so
and just
Seth-
get an HOA neighborhood?
So Seth bought that under 200 grand. So let's just see, single family detached.
Seth
under-
is going to do very well here.
Oh, yeah, yeah. 0 homes were sold under $200,000 at 1,400 square feet. 3 were sold under 200,000 single family detached year to date, no square footage.
I would love to know what the house looked like in June of last year when he bought it for 165.
Oh, I know it because I walk that area all the time and all that stuff. It needed a lot of love, a lot of help, and they hats off to Seth. I mean, they really did a great job in renovating it. Like the fence too.
Oh, I think the fence is one of my favorite features there.
Yeah, yeah. It's good for Forrest the dog.
I mean, you can still wiggle out there.
Yep.
Forrest is a crafty canine.
No, he's doing much better. But a 5-foot fence fixed that. So.
Yeah, he's a crafty canine, that Forrest. He's a hound.
He's a hound.
Heather Walker, one of Johnson Village's finest, says, what is the property tax on this house, Keith?
That's a great question. Won't know until it closes. The current.
I mean, you could figure out the property taxes on 675K in Charlottesville, though.
Yeah, so the current 2022 taxes on that was $2,706. So that was 2022.
$2,706.
Yeah, that was 2022. I'm not fast enough to do the math for this particular year, and it depends on, I don't think the sales price and the tax assessed value is going to match, guys. Right?
Jamie Turner goes, Jerry, don't take that bet. Keith is the buyer. Keith's not buying that house. Keith is too emotionally attached to his current house, and he will not sell his current house. And until he sells his current house, he ain't moving into the city. Where Yona has already gotten over the emotional attachment of the house, and she's ready to move into the city.
Yona has moved from a home to a house.
Yeah.
I'm still at a home.
Yeah.
I haven't moved to a house
Keith
yet.
loves his home.
Well,
He also has a lot of stuff.
I got a lot of stuff, but that's not the reason. The real reason is the dinner I had last night with my mom and pop and my daughter and my granddaughter.
Well, I mean, and
all
also,
that stuff.
and your mom and pop, I mean, there's a very good probability they may be moving into your house.
We ended our conversation yesterday, and Doc Tate, I'm going to get to here in a minute. We're blessed, right? Because if need be, we can have mom and dad live with us, right?
That's what I'm saying.
14% of all the sales last year, according to NAR, was multi-generational, right? Which is what we're talking about. Them coming in to do that. And it was interesting, the Fluvanna County Board of Supervisors, and this was a topic that we had over the dinner table, and I love Doc's read on it, is, they shut down a 55 and over, 60% AMI, multifamily apartment building built by the Lutheran Church. I believe it was Lutheran. It's either Lutheran or Episcopal. I can't remember, but built by a religious organization across from the main gate that would have been perfect setup for either my mother or father when they can't. And so that 60% AMI right now because is about $1,200 for a 2-bedroom. That's kind of how that works. That math works. So they could have easily moved into that, sell their house, put a little bit of cash in there, live out the rest of their years out in a nice little 2-bedroom apartment with other people that are their same age, their same cohort, have a little bit of play bingo or whatever they're doing. And bingo, I don't know what, bingo cards or whatever.
You play any backgammon?
Oh, it's funny you should say that.
I'm about to get heavy into backgammon.
No, stop it. Is Yona watching?
Let me see. Hold on one second. Yona? You own
Do
a
you
s-
know what we just bought?
You
this
bought a
weekend?
backgammon set? Is it a set? Is it a board?
It's a board. We
Okay.
just bought one, and we were YouTubing all weekend long on how the rules on it. That is so weird.
It's this is what got me into backgammon. I've met some squash players that play out of Manhattan.
Yeah.
And they play squash, and then they play backgammon.
How about dominoes? You play dominoes?
Domino's has a strong tie to the Cuban
The
community.
reason I brought it up.
Yeah, and grew up with dominoes constantly being played around us. In fact, it sounds like it's either my family or it's Cubans in general. They love to gamble. Because I was constantly raised in a house, the Cubans were gambling on everything.
So I'm going to
So
share
it fits
something
my
with you.
personality quite well.
I'm going to share something with you. So does the Irish and the Italian. Because
let's
as a
cut to the
kid
chase. Who
growing
doesn't like
up, my grandfather used to take me to, both grandfathers used to take me to the track. And they used to tell my parents something else. And they used to go
Andre
to the track.
Xavier in Cascadia, the last 3 detached single-family homes sold were above $650K.
Yeah.
You are right, Jerry. Prices will go up in HOA neighborhoods in Albemarle County. Andre, check out Glenmore.
So
We're talking $1,150,000, the median price of sales in Glenmore in 2023. I mean, literally, well over $1 million.
So if you go ahead and pull down Real Talk with Keith Smith,
Love that website.
Market Reports, great website.
It's a great logo.
I actually have HOA versus non-HOA sales going from 2003 to 2023. Yes, Woody, I've got it backwards. I'll fix it.
I wasn't
Number
gonna
of
say
homes
anything.
sold, price increase. So over the last 9 years, on average, 37% more homes sold located in HOA versus non. They also sold 29% faster for 17% more. So if you take a look at it, there's a couple of really neat charts talking about HOA versus non-HOA. So they've always been above. It's just going to go a little bit higher.
Oh, I think it's going to go astronomically higher.
I got to tell you, the people I'm meeting today, there's 2 reasons where I got a phone, 3 reasons we got a phone call. One, we've known them for decades. Secondly, their life situation is changing. And thirdly, it's really, they want to move out of the neighborhood before it's rezoned. They're ready to move.
Out of the city of Charlottesville.
Yep.
Dude, who wouldn't want to? I mean, who
Well,
would want to?
apparently, you've got somebody moving in paying $675. So certain people this is transitionary. It's like certain people that have been here for a while are moving out. Some people are coming in.
I mean, it depends on, here's what it depends on. The people that are moving into this area, if they come from a place like Old Alexandria, McLean, a city environment, I can see why they would want to move to the city of Charlottesville because they want to be close to action, activity, stuff that's going on. If you're OG Charlottesville and you've been in Charlottesville a long time,
Sure.
why would you stay?
So when
When
I'm
you
over,
can sell your house for top dollar and capitalize on the upzoning potential, take that bag of money and then get an acre in an HOA community and worry about nothing.
so I'm over 55, substantially, by the
Okay.
way. What's the other reason why I love 724 Elliott Avenue for?
The walkability,
Nope.
the bike ability,
Nope.
the restaurant ability, the bar ability,
Nope.
the close to work ability,
Nope. But it's close to something that's important to me
Tavola.
when I get over 55.
Hospitals?
There you go.
Okay.
Medical. I will tell you of all
But
the
I'd say any HOA neighborhood in Albemarle County is close to a hospital.
Sure. Lake Monticello in particular, it has its own rescue squad, and that for people moving out of the northeast down.
Okay, did Jamie Turner's convinced you bought this house? Did you buy this house?
No.
You swear on everything
I
that...
swear on everything that's holy that
Okay.
I did not buy that house.
Okay.
No.
You did not buy this house?
I did not buy that house.
Okay.
I think Seth is a freaking genius for buying it at what he bought it and did what he did. I think it's freaking awesome. You're not going to see a lot of them anymore.
No.
You're not going to see.
All flips like this have been cherry picked.
There you go. You're not going to see anything more than that. And it's very interesting. You
He's
can't.
also got some capital gains exposure with this under 2 years sale.
It depends on it. It depends on a lot of things on that and what his delta is after all his expenses and stuff like that. I don't think he's going to get hammered that hard with capital gains, and I'm sure he's smart.
He's a smart guy.
Smart enough to have CPAs and all
Oh,
these
no
people
doubt.
take a
No
look
doubt.
at it. But you know what that, you can't touch a lot, by the way, for that number, for 170 something.
Well, what would be, actually, who was I having this conversation with? I was literally having this conversation this weekend. That people were buying cribs just to tear them down.
Yeah, sure.
Who was it with? I forget who it was with. What's the lot in Charlottesville? A 0.1 in city of Charlottesville running these days.
Yeah, so the last couple ones I've helped out, and it's been a while, it was about 125, 150.
125, 150. How
And
long
I
ago
think
was that?
was a couple years ago.
Okay. So I would imagine that's almost 2x'd.
Well, I'm going to find out while you're doing that, because I'm going to look at land sales in the city of Charlottesville.
I would say that would be 2x, $250,000. City of
Really?
Charlottesville. You buy a lot.
That lot?
A legitimate lot in a good location.
45 by whatever, how much?
250,000.
Oh, yeah, okay.
What'd you think
I'm sorry,
I
I
said?
heard him. My hearing aids aren't working today. as you can tell.
A $250,000.
Okay, I heard $1.25 million.
Yeah, $250,000.
Yeah.
City of Charlottesville, walking distance to Belmont and the downtown mall, $250K for a lot. I mean, you've got to, there's people in this community that are so deep pocketed, they're buying houses that are legitimate, that are, you know who I was having this conversation with? It was in the Bel Air neighborhood. I'm not going to spill too many beans here. We got people, friends, that are legitimately buying a house in Bel Air to knock down.
Yeah, but that's common in Bel Air.
To knock down.
Yeah, I've helped people buy.
We're talking $800,000, $900,000 here.
I've helped people buy and sell in Bel Air.
No, I get that, but we're
Like,
talking $800,000,
for decades.
$900,000
Yeah.
to then spend $2 million on top of that.
Yeah,
That just shows the astronomical level of wealth. Now, the location of Bel Air, a lot of people say that's the best neighborhood in Albemarle County.
if you like that, I love this. For me and my
I know you
lifestyle, and no, I'm not. I didn't buy it.
I don't think this house would accommodate your family visiting from Connecticut.
No,
And
but
they
there's a hotel
visit
around
often.
the corner.
Okay, there. Yona would never allow that to happen.
Yeah,
She would never allow that to happen. Are you
No.
looking up the lots over there?
I am.
I can't wait to see it. I would say
Yeah.
250 for a lot in a good location. 0.1, 0.12, 0.13 in that vicinity. Do you want me to do this? I can just hop on. I can. Do you want me to do this?
I'm waiting for you to stop talking because I have the numbers for you.
I'm happy to do this if you
So
want me
year to date, there were 6 lots sold.
to. Okay.
259,750
Of
is
course.
median.
259, 750.
Yep.
What did your boy Jerry say?
$1.50.
Okay, so 250. Go ahead.
0.30 in
Okay.
size. So it's a little bit bigger than what you were talking.
0.3.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
0.30.
nice size lot.
Yeah, that's the median
For the
size.
city, at least.
That's the medium size. So the cheapest was 90,000. I wonder where that heck that was. We got to look at that for a second. That was 918 Wood Fork Drive. So I got to figure that. I don't even know where that is. On the high side was 4038 Avon at 1.5, and that was 0.38 acres. So I have to look at what's going on with that. But the bottom line is the median, which takes out your high and the low, is you're looking about 150, 159. There's a couple of 120 and 180, which had a lot of days on the market. Let me see where that is. Yeah. So you're right, 250, 225 in the right location. Sounds about right.
There you go.
So therefore,
And then you 3 to 4x the lot purchase.
Sure.
So you're building $1 million house.
yeah, you could have.
What's the rule of thumb? 3 to 4x. Whatever you pay for the dirt.
So it depends,
Yeah.
right?
Finishes what you want. Obviously.
No. The math changes the more you pay for the lot. So the multiplier, the less you pay for the lot. So generally, if it's like $100,000 or below, it's 5 times. If it's $100,000 and above, it's 5 times. So I would say 4 times. If you're buying something for 2.25,
You
2.5,
put $1 million home on there.
you're putting $1 million home.
And then you're all in if you need to sell at $1,250,000.
Yeah, sure.
$1,250,000, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I mean, this was no risk for 724 Elliott Avenue, but, you know, you could have bought that for 176, spent $15,000 to demo it, and flipped the lot for 275 ish, something like that.
Yeah, but once he got his
No. Well,
closing costs, his demo costs,
It depends
maybe he
on-
does
it
a
depends
controlled
on-
burn like Jamie Turner does.
it depends on the ROI.
I mean, dude bought
Well,
it
you
for
can't burn it there.
165.
You can't burn
No,
it
you
there.
can't burn in the city of Charlottesville.
No, okay.
If he bought it for 165 and he sold it for 250, with the closing costs, some carrying costs, and whatever the destruction of the property costs, there's no money there.
Well, I'm just looking at percentage differences, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
the
you make
volume
like
of
10
dollars,
G.
the volume of dollars is
Not worth his time right there.
No.
I would say
Well,
that
the risk here is, which is not the case. This is risk free, right? This was going to sell.
I wouldn't say it's risk free
That's about as damn close as risk.
because he bought it for 165, but he doesn't know what's behind the walls. And I would say his remodeling costs were probably, I put it at 250. I wouldn't be surprised if it's closer to 225.
He spent between $350 and $400 to do this, I would imagine. There's a lot. The amount of work he did in it's pretty awesome. But you don't-
If he's at 400, Keith, and he bought it for 165, that's 565 out of pocket, and he's listing it for 674.9.
so you add another 50,000 on closing on that, just round numbers.
There's no meat there for what he's looking to do.
I don't know what he did.
Seth's got champagne taste.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
You know what we'll do is we'll invite him on the show so he can
Seth
tell
Batten,
us.
you coming on the show, dog?
Tell us how he did it after it closes.
After it closes.
After it closes, Jerry. We did not want to get ourselves in trouble.
We're not
So
gonna-
look, we're at 11:32.
I know,
but-
this is
but
great.
I did want to X Dr. Tate, and we'll try to tag him for some future shows.
We should get him on the show.
Because he used to run the Fulvana County Economic Authority, Development Authority, EDA, on that. And I'm really curious his take on the growth pattern of Fulvana County, because that was the conversation around the dinner table last night on, are we going to start changing this 90 some odd percent? Now, he's not on it any longer, but he's pretty smart. Not pretty smart. He is pretty smart on it, on his analysis. So I'd love to hear his analysis on, are we going to start eating into that 90 some odd percent of our tax base tied to residential?
And what do you think?
No.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see what he has to say. about
I
it.
do not see Fluvanna County having any appetite whatsoever for new construction.
Oh, no, it's not. I think even more so after this upcoming election.
Yeah, right.
When this upcoming election happens,
You're going to have more folks on the board that are opposed to
Anything.
density.
anything that's
They'll buy right. They got no choice. They're going to want to run the county fiscally conservative, and just understand that rooftops are going to carry the burden of the yearly budget.
yeah, and
Is what it is.
if it was 20 years ago and I was back in doing this silly development stuff, I would start buying up land and just doing by right developments, cutting up into 4 or 5 lots, and just, that it's just such a need for inventory. It would be pretty much a no-brainer to go ahead and do that.
Keith Smith, Yes Realty Partners.
11:34. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Today's show was fun.
I had a good time.
Came in with,
with nothing other than a Mr. Predicto.
yeah?
Right.
Should we make a prediction?
No, let's X. Does Smith know what he's talking about? Let's see.
No, you got to hold it up so he can see it. Hold it up, by your mic.
Highly doubtful.
Highly doubtful.
Highly doubted. Mr. Predicto.
Mr. Predicto, I don't like you.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about the other crystal ball is it doesn't talk, and we can say what it says. Keith Smith is A+ people. If you need to buy or sell a house, it's Keith Smith and Yes Realty Partners. Jonas Smith is Better 7/8. Yes Realty Partners.
Seth, thank you for letting us do this with your listing
Your case study.
for a case study. I wanted to tie it into the zoning. Really, my intent was to tie it into the zoning rewrite on how that parcel is not going to be on the table for any time soon, and it's added that particular equation. Great job, Seth. Well done.
Fantastic program. Judah Wickhauer, Keith Smith, Jerry Miller. This is Real Talk with Keith Smith on a Monday. A lot to cover on the I Love Seville show. We will talk this property at 12:30 today on the I Love Seville show. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you watching the program. We are up in 55 minutes on the program that is captivating your attention across Central Virginia. Judah, Keith, Jerry, so long, everybody.
Thanks, Judah.
Well,